Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Nine of Stones in tradition. And when I was thinking about this card today and looking at it, it was all about, the stones behind, and whether that sun's coming up or the sun's going down behind those stones. It reminded me of yesterday's card with that pole star. That, here we're walking through the woods and we seen that the universe has our back, and, we're really, just a small piece of that universe. Here, it kind of spoke to me as, hey, we're just seeking out spirit, right? We're seeking out that reverence and respect, from spirit and from the universe. And when we can sit there and really just meditate on what the message is that spirit has for us, we gain insight and wisdom into our predicament that we may have in our relationships, or, within our finances, or, creativity, or any of that, stability and everything like that. And, taking that time out to actually ponder, okay, what has transpired in the past and what the universe wants, where the universe wants you to go. It allows us to commune with those from the other side. And the King of Stones is still down here, this wolf. And, he's a guardian of the underworld, okay? And, he's all about, hey, let's touch base with, that security and stability from the other side to see how we can, move forward, right? Some things make sense, right? And just, common sense and way to doing things. But other things, we need to think about, all right? Does this really make sense? And when you can talk to your spirit guides, when you can talk to your ancestors that have moved on, all right? When you can talk to the universe and get that direction, it gives you that Page of Stones message, like the Lynx has for you, right? And, he just says to you, what can you learn from this situation, right? And, when we with those that have passed on and they give us those messages, we can feel confident in moving forward, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's in a career, whether it's in finances, or a creative project, okay? And, talking with mom and dad and grandma and grandpas, papas and nanas that have moved on, in-laws that have moved on, family members, great-grandmothers and everything like that, great-grandfathers. Talking with those spirits like I'm talking to you today. Talking with those spirits and just listening intently with your heart. Listening intently with your intuition. They give you that guideline on what they went through, all right? And some of those traditions have been passed down, but others are learned. Others are, given through wisdom, analogies, metaphors to help you, remain in this world, to continue moving forward. And when you focus on that and you listen to them, and, you can even talk to those that are still living, your aunts and uncles, right? And ask them, hey, when you were a kid, when this was going on, how did mom, how did you guys react? How did mom and dad react, with this? When gas prices went through the roof, or, when inflation hit and, a loaf of bread and milk went up through the roof. And you listen to those stories, right? And you hear of the sacrifices that they made while, you were growing up, right? And you just realize that family was a lot more back then, all right? Family's a lot more than it is now. But, with the social medias that are out there, and we want everything, instantly and gratification, tradition isn't about instant gratification. Tradition is, keeping things moving in a familial way, all right? Keeping things through that wisdom, through that knowledge, sharing it so others can grow. And, when you think about those past traditions, that have been passed down, whether that's through Christmas or July 4th celebrations or reunions, all right? It brings light and richness into your life. And, when you're sitting here, you can be sitting here with the stones behind you, and those stones could be turning into your ancestors. Those stones could be the spirits of those that have moved on, that are placing their hands on your shoulder. They're guiding you moving forward in that aspect of finances, in that aspect of relationship, right? And, when you feel that, it gives you confidence, gives you security, gives you stability in knowing that you're moving forward. So draw on those strengths of tradition, right, to help you gain that wisdom and knowledge. Draw on the strengths of tradition to move you forward in making the right decisions, not only for you, but for those loved ones that are coming up in the generations ahead of us. Because when you can do that, when you can share your message to others, you're doing more than just giving information. You're sharing wealth, you're sharing creativity, you're sharing knowledge and wisdom. So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Nine of Stones in Tradition. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. If you'd like a private reading, check out the link down below in the description box. And this is Dee for The Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.